Good morning, good afternoon, and good night, wherever you're watching me from. My name is Dr. Obioramba Iboeze, reaching you from Nkolo Mahadum Wisdom University. In Wisdom University, Nkolo Mahadum, we encourage you to think out of the box. Use your naturally given common sense to evaluate information before you make a decision. Again, thank you for joining me. And I'm reaching you today live again from Nkolo Mahadum, where I promised you that yesterday that we shall also be presenting another fabulous, nice lecture to you today. Today's date is for market day in the 8th month of the Igbo lunar calendar called Onwa Ilo Muo. And in the Roman Catholic calendar, today's date is September 5 or 5th, 2024. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel, like our program, comment, share to your friends and well-wishers and your family members. And if you miss any of our lectures, immediately go and listen to it, and then go back to our previous lectures. Actually, today's lecture is the 60 lectures we have done on this Nkolo Mahadum. At Nkolo Mahadum, we encourage you to use your naturally given akonuche to evaluate information, to reason before you make a decision. The title of our lecture today is, we are asking a question: is it right for Britain to create the state of Israel in Palestine with all the consequences that Israel is going through in that location? Is it okay? Nkolo Mahadum think that it is not okay, and for the following reasons. You can tell from my childhood, I've been hearing about wars, Israeli wars and this, and Israeli wars and this, up to today. Since the establishment of Israel in that location, there have been many wars that the Israeli people have passed through. And the first war that they fought, even though they've been having a lot of conflicts and everything, the first major war that they had was between 1948 and 1949, called Israel War of Independence, which started as United Nations Resolution 181, divided the land of Palestine into a Jewish state and Arab states. After the United Nations have conducted a vote for it back in November 29th, 1947. In that war, Egypt, Jordan, Iraq, Syria, Lebanon, all the Arab countries were fighting against Israel. There was another war in 1956 called the Suez Canal, the Suez Crisis. The Suez Crisis started when the Egyptian leader, Gamal Abdel Nasser, nationalized Suez Canal, which was a vital waterway connecting Europe and Asia. And that Suez Canal was built or owned by French and British concerns. Another war which the Israelis have participated is the one they call the 1967 Six-Day War. That war lasted between June 5 to June 10, 1967. Again, between Egypt, Syria, Jordan, and many of the Arab countries. Also, in 1973, there's another war called Yom Kippur War. Yom Kippur was a Jewish holiday, which that war started on October 6, 1973. And also Egypt, Syria, Jordan, and other Arab nations fought against Israel in that war. Also in 1982, there was the Israeli-Lebanon War, or Israeli-Lebanese War. This war was between the Palestinians fighting with Lebanon against Israel. And then in 2006, there was the second Lebanon War. That war was between Israel and Lebanon. And then from 2023 to the present, the current Israeli-Hamas war, which had been going on up to this day. You can tell how much human beings, how much properties have been lost on both sides. And efforts are being made by world leaders, Arab leaders, Israeli leaders to make sure that the current Israeli-Hamas war doesn't result to the wider Israeli-Arab war like before. So it's been war, war, war since the state of Israel was created in that location. And before we continue, we have to beg you to please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter. Like our program, comment, share it. Share it to your friends and well-wishers, your family members, your children. And if you miss any of our lecture, please go immediately and listen to that lecture. And also go to our previous lectures, because all the lectures we have delivered here are being delivered from Biafran and African perspectives, so that you see things from the way it affects you. Don't be seeing things from the story that is being told, that's, from the interest of another culture or another country or another continent. No. That's why the lectures we are presenting here is special. We present them, we use the ego eye of a Biafran and an African to present it to you, to see the way you should see it. This is very, 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 very important. So the question we have is, do you think the wars of Israel will ever end? With what had been going on from the past, all the wars from the past up to today, wars are still going on. Do you think that war all the wars that Israel is fighting by being located in that particular location will ever end? The answer is, it may not end. It may not end unless war leaders come together to find out a lasting solution to avoid all these wars and for them to live peacefully together in that area. Because Britain will have cited Israel in another location. It mustn't be in that location. Because you will not say that because the land of Israel, that portion that they say belonged to Israel long time ago, will still belong to Israel. Truthfully, it shouldn't be. Because, history had taught us that a lot of people's land were taken away by wars, by conquering them. And therefore, when Saul created the first united Israeli state in 1020 BCE, and we know from our past lecture that there was problem in Israel, in the state of Israel, and there was division. And therefore, foreigners invaded them and took over their land. Okay? So the argument that the state of Israel was set up because they owned that land shouldn't hold. Because a lot of lands were conquered. If you go down the history, for example, the place we call United States of America today is not the land of the United States people. The United States people came from Europe and fought wars with the indigenous Indian people here and defeated them. They also fought with the Mexicans and defeated them and take away their land up to today. There was no time the Mexicans will come back and say, this is our land, we have to come back to the land. Just like you are saying that because Israel is the owner of that land before, that they should go there and stay. So that was a very, very big mistake. If not for economic control, if not for economic, political domination by Britain to dominate the Red Sea and other seas in that area. The land of Israel would not have been relocated in that particular location. Because like I said, United States is sited on somebody else's land. And the original owners of that land never come back to take it. Canada, the same thing. Australia, the same thing. They were forcefully occupied by Europeans. And the indigenous people, the original owners of those lands, never got it back. Also in New Zealand, even in Brazil, and in our own continent, Africa, in South Africa, the Europeans occupy a lot of land there. They never give it back to the original owners. Even in Zimbabwe, the same thing. When Robert Mugabe was taking the land away from the whites to give to the black people, the original owners, we all not see how he was treated. He was sanctioned and blackmailed until he died. And so the state of Israel shouldn't have been established on that very land. And before we continue, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Follow us on Twitter and Facebook and other social media platforms. Like our program, comment. And remember, at Nkolomahadum, we want you to reason. Reason out of the box. and understand that mistakes were made by Britain to cite Israel in the middle of the Arab land. And since then, there have been wars and wars and wars and wars and killings and destructions. And that's why Nkola Mahadum is suggesting that all world leaders should come together to find a lasting solution so that Israel, as presently located in that area, can live in peace with her Arab neighbors. It is very, 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 very important. And with this, we shall be bringing today's lecture to an end. But before we end it, we must encourage all Africans to stand up and dismantle all the colonial boundaries in Africa. But that is the major problem we're having. For somebody to come from 6,000 miles away and say, you are this country, you are this country. And you don't have the same rights to go to Europe and do the same. So we should dismantle all the colonial boundaries in Africa so that there'll be peace and love and progress in our land. And with this, we shall be bringing today's lecture to an end. And thank you very much for joining me. Again, my name is Obiora Mba Iboeze. Thank you.